I just bought a 2017 Infiniti Q50 Red Sport from Copart for $3,500. It was listed as vandalism and missing altered VIN. There's something a little out of the ordinary with this car that drew me in. Coming out of Chicago with 152,000 miles, it seems like a perfectly normal old car until you start to read the fine print. Let's rewind a little bit. Chicago, the Windy City, home of the Bulls, the Bears, the Cubs, the White Sox, championships, excellence, traditions. Q50s? You know what's near Chicago? Canada. And you know what the Canadians use for distance? Kilometers. I think you can actually start to piece this whole thing together. This car actually has 152,000 kilometers on it. So I'm stoked to get this thing in, so let's get down to business. We'll obviously need to get a new fender, we'll need to get new keys made for it, we'll need to get a new VIN tag from the state, and we'll need to do some paint work. So let's get it here and get to work.
Okay, so it's the next morning. The Infiniti is sitting here in the parking lot. Thank you to David, our cameraman. He was trying to leave last night about 6:40, and as he's trying to leave, in comes the shipper with the car. So thank you, Dave, for getting it unloaded. I'm not sure, though, about the damage you did to the front bumper, Dave. He's trying to claim it was already like this. I looked at the pictures from Copart. It wasn't like that. But the front bumper's clearly been damaged. And I also noticed when I was walking up, our little dent on the fender has turned into a double-sized, much bigger dent. So we might have to actually replace this fender now. Doing a quick walk around, the car looks pretty good, but it's cold out here. We'll get the car inside and then I can start complaining about the interior. All right, so I got in out of the cold. We got the car in a nice warm shop. I do want to get on the inside. Inside's actually really nice. I mean, that's looking really nice. I like that. But for the light gray interior, sometimes they get really dirty and look bad, and this thing is in nice shape. We do have a broken windshield, but that really doesn't bother me that bad because when we do the VIN tags, a lot of times we end up having to replace the windshield anyway. All right, well, what I'd like to do is get a hold of Infiniti right now. We've got the car in the shop. We'll send George, our tow truck driver, over to the Infiniti dealer, get a key fob, and then we can try to program it, and then we'll know if Matt's a genius or if Matt's an idiot.
Well, we didn't have any luck finding the key, so I guess Copart didn't lie to us this time. But I'll tell you, the inside of this car is super clean, so the previous owner must have taken really good care of it. So now we just gotta wait for George to get back with that new key, and then we'll get to find out what we got.
All right, so George just got back with our new key from Infiniti. $180 later, we've got the key, put a new battery in it, brand new Deca battery. And Joe has hooked up the Altel to it. Let's see what we get. Tell me something, Joe. What did you find?
The key's programmed.
All right. Okay, so
We're gonna try and start it now.
the moment of truth. Okay, hold on. Let's see how it sounds. All right, fire it up, fire it up. Sounded like it was cranking. Hold on a second. Okay, go ahead. It's cranking. All right, so the key programmed and we tried to start it. It cranked over about 1 or 1.5 revolutions and stopped. All right, I think we figured out the problem. We had Joe hitting the button instead of Matt. Now that we got the jump pack on it, we'll put the big man in charge here. All right, here we go. There you go, baby. Doesn't sound that good, that's for sure, but it's starting. Yeah, we've got something rattling down there pretty bad. It sounds like an AC compressor flush. But we know we've got a runner, so that's good news. So before we pull the car out of the shop, I would like to try to get it on a rack and see if we can diagnose what the rattling noise is. Otherwise, we'll have to do it when we go to do the frontline checklist. But it would be ideal to get whatever that part is ordered now, so when we go to do the frontline checklist, we've already got that problem solved.
Which is exactly what we did. The strange rattling sound coming from underneath the hood ended up being the AC compressor. So we ordered a new one, we got it put on, and just like that, one less issue we got to deal with. So the next step is getting the key blade cut to work the door. When the dealership brought us the key fob, the bladed key was not cut because this car was originally sold in Canada. So it's not showing up in their system. They couldn't do anything. So what we've got to do is take the door cylinder out of the driver's door, give it to our locksmith, and he's going to have to cut the key the old-fashioned way. So Mo is here from Mobile City Locksmith. He's got the parts on his workbench. He's going to do some filing.
Question is, does Mo still have the art of the key maker? Is the key gonna work? Yeah, it works. Yeah, and it's locking and unlocking the car. Awesome. All right, so Canadian or not, we're able to figure out we can get it done. Now on to the next project.
All right, the next project on the list is getting the new windshield. Our guys over at Be Safe Auto Glass have come in. They've cut out the old cracked windshield. These guys are great. They always do our work and do a great job. So with that done, now we're on to the biggest part of the project, which is the bodywork.
So the fender, the damage on it is just too much. Nate took a look at it, said, nope, buy a fender. So our friends over at LKQ got us a brand new fender, 150 bucks. They're gonna get that bolted on and get it painted. But Nate over here showed me some more damage on it that I wasn't aware of. The problem with these Infinitis is they have a little bit of a frame that comes down off of the reinforcement beam that's clearly bent. All right, so what do we got going on here?
I gotta take that aluminum bar off, bend the metal back, bend this steel back.
Right.
And then rebolt this on, see if I can get it straight. And then I'm gonna have to mess with the bumper to even see if I can get it close.
Yeah.
And then mount it up.
But it's the metal brackets that are bent. The aluminum bar looks good.
Yeah.
All right, that'll be great.
So the mission is clear. Nate is going to fix that lower reinforcement beam, get it back down where it's supposed to be. Then he's going to install the new fender and get the front bumper back on the car. We're getting close to getting to hear this twin turbo roar, but we might have run into a little bit of a roadblock.
All right, we're making progress. Things are coming along good. I really like how this bumper came out. Nate did a great job with it. Was able to get it filled in and smooth. Got the thing back down, all straightened out, and he was able to do it without buying any parts, so you know I like that. We were getting ready to pull it into the paint booth, but we ran into a snag. So this is the mirror off the passenger's door. We had to get a new one because it was cracked, and note this mirror has a camera. Here's our new mirror that we were getting ready to install on the car, no camera. So that delays the whole paint process because we have to paint the skull cap. We can't just swap the skull cap from the other one because it has a crack in it.
So we got the wrong mirror. It's a little frustrating because it's going to cause some delays while we wait for the new mirror to come in. But there are other things that we can get working on and get it back over to the mechanical side and get that lower control arm on it.
So while we're waiting for the mirror assembly to come in, we went ahead and got it back over here to the mechanical side so we could put on our new control arm, which I just wanted to test real quick. Ah! No, it's not that I'm that strong. This is actually the broken one, but it's interesting how lightweight it is. It's just a thin wall aluminum. Kind of surprised, but regardless, our friends at Miami Town got us a whole knee assembly for 125 bucks. One control arm alone was more than from the dealer, so it made sense to just get the whole knee assembly. That way we knew we got the right arm off of it. We've got it installed on the car, so now we're gonna take it over to Goodyear, get all those new tires put on it, and get a four-wheel alignment, which it's like a tuning fork. I need to be already holding it.
That was the slipperiest control arm I've ever held. But now we've got the new control arm installed, so that rear suspension's all secured up and we can be driving the car around. So we can get it back over to the body shop side, get that mirror on it, and finish up on the bodywork.
Let me get you up to date. The mirror came in. That was the big thing we were waiting on. So we got the mirror, we got it mounted on the car, got it painted, and this bumper came out really good. Nate was concerned about how bent up it was and about the couple holes that were in it. So I'm really pleased with what a job the guys did over here. Of course, we got the new fender on it, so the fender looks good. We had to paint the door and blend all the way to the back of the door just to get the colors to come out right. So we did a little more painting than we wanted to, but the car looks good. We'll finish taking all the tape and plastic off of it, get it outside, go drive it, put some miles on it, then we'll make a punch list of the final things we gotta do before we can send it to sales.
All right, I finally get to take this thing out on the road. We've got a lot done so far with that bumper and the control arm and the fender. We got the AC compressor on it. They got all the paintwork done. We got the new key programmed, but are we in the clear?
I did get 2 error messages coming up in the center console. One about the nav system. Ends up that the SD card is just missing entirely. So I went on eBay this morning, I found one for 75 bucks and got that ordered. Once we get that in there, I suspect the nav system will be working fine. And we're getting an error message for the front sonar. And that was it. Those are the only 2 things I found, so hopefully we can get this thing over to the sales lot pretty soon. All right, so we were able to get up in there and look without taking the bumper off. The brackets are fine, the sonar's fine, it's not damaged. The wires are connected and the wire looks fine. At this point, it was an easy, quick check. It seems fine, so we're gonna have to actually hook up the computer system and do some diagnosis on it and find out what's going on.
I'm a little concerned because everything looks good, but we're still getting this error message. Now, it does make sense to me though, because most of the damage was to the front bumper, but we have to get the Sonar working properly. It could be just a simple wiring issue, or maybe it's something even simpler.
So we got some good news and we got some bad news. The good news though is that the Sonar system is working. Joe was able to hook the computer up to it, resync the thing back to the car, and everything's communicating right. It's working good. That's solved. Error message is gone. Bad news is when he was in there, he discovered that the park sensors aren't communicating at all. There's 4 of them. They're these little round circles across the front bumper of the car that detect anything in close proximity. They're not communicating at all, so there's either a damaged wire in there or possibly when the body shop had the bumper off, they just didn't connect it back up. Yeah, so the 4 sensors that go across, God, that's just maddening. The 4 sensors that go across here have a wire that snaps onto the back of each one of them. Sounds like the wire was sitting on there but just wasn't pushed all the way in and snapped on. So we ended up having to take the wheel liners out, take the splash shield off to get up in there just to connect the wires back up.
Well, there you have it. The sensors weren't snapped in, which is a little frustrating because we're the ones who put the bumper on, but the cheapest parts are the parts you don't have to buy. So next, Kelsey's telling me that we've got the VIN tag in for this car, so we're gonna get that from her and get it installed.
All right, so we got the final punch list items done on this car. The VIN tag finally came in, so we got the VIN tag installed up under the windshield, so that was nice. And the SD card came in, put it into the little slot in the center console there. The nav system worked. I got to drive it home again last night, and it needs a front left wheel bearing. I was getting this humming noise coming from the front. It was really minor. I was thinking it might just go away from sitting for a while, but it did not. We're gonna put a front left wheel bearing on it real quick and then off to detail. All right, so Michael's been on this wheel bearing job since about 9 o'clock this morning. I just got back from lunch. I saw the car is still on the lift, so I'm curious what's taking so long. 15 minutes, slap the bearing in and out. It's got 4 bolts that hold it on. And I come over here and you got the whole damn suspension apart.
Well, Matt, I would love for that axle to come out of that wheel bearing right there. If you look down inside here at the teeth for the axle, where the axle and the wheel bearing meet, those teeth have shifted. It looks as if the previous person that worked on this car didn't tighten the axle nut enough. The torque ended up sliding the splines together, which unfortunately enough kind of welded it all together.
So this housing should slide off of this shaft,
Exactly.
and it's not.
Very easily, it should. Yeah, typically. Obviously, we got the axle out, but it broke off at the coupler at the transmission.
Yeah, left that in there.
There's 6 bolts in there, and 4 of them were stripped out. We have 1 left. So now we got Mr. Danny over here, seeing if he can weld to it.
To get the last one out.
Oh my gosh, Danny. Ah, love it. All right, we got a plan. Danny the man. All right, let's see how this goes. As long as he doesn't burn the shop down, we'll be fine. So what can I use this for?
Be a really nice paperweight.
All right, $250 paperweight.
Man, what a mess. That wheel bearing ended up being a really big job. Not exactly my idea of fun when we're lighting stuff on fire, but we got the job done and I got a pretty sweet paperweight out of it. Next thing we do, get it off to detail.
She's looking good. They got the wheel back on it, got the wheel bearing and CV axle in it. You know what I think I'm gonna do with this one? Maybe because it's got 400 horsepower and I might have a little addiction to speed, I think I'll personally take it to detail. We got the Red Sport back from detail and she is looking good. They did a great job over there and it's just a sexy car to begin with. I really like them with the sport bumper on the front. That's a good look for this car. Guys at the body shop did a great job of getting that thing back and looking right. This car made it in and out of here quick, which you know I love that. That's usually a key to making money, but how do the numbers look? Let's go find out.
All right, I came upstairs so we could go over the numbers on that Red Sport. What a cool car. By the time we paid all the auction fees, had $4,197 into it, and we spent $400 getting it down here from the Windy City. As far as our expenses go, on the mechanical side, we spent $3,999 on parts. The paint side spent $173 in paint. On the mechanical side, we had $1,300 in labor. The paint guys had $800 in labor. So all said and done, we put an investment of $6,275 into the car, bringing our grand total to $10,472, which isn't bad. This car books out at over $19,500, so we did really good on it. But we had a friend and family Guy's been buying cars from us for over 10 years. He's referred lots of people to us. We're letting him have the car at 70%, which is $13,500. That puts $3,028 in our pocket, and he's really getting a terrific car. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching to the end. I'm Matt Ryan, and this is another episode of NKY Auto.
Get the wheel off.